kind of like branch out and meet people that way. It's great. Because
Yeah,
I end up meeting all sorts of interesting people.
yeah. For me, like Tylord's like the kind of like the nucleus to a lot of people because everybody knows Tylord.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody like dislikes Tylord. Like everybody knows him.
I can't even tell you. Like, I guess it was through the mappers that I met Ty Lord because I think he just sort of popped up one day.
Yeah, yeah. How did you guys? Who met Tylord first then?
I don't know. I don't know. Probably Teddy. Teddy knows a lot of people. That's how I met a lot of people at the beginning. Was like, I made friends with Teddy, and then I kind of just branched from there. So maybe
Yeah, because
I don't know, or like it could like sometimes some of the other people that we collaborate with or that watch the mappers bring people in too.
like
So
Terry, like
oh yeah,
Terry,
all the
I
time.
Terry, I knew because of Tylord,
Maybe it was Terry
and
then.
yeah, and Leo, I met through. I saw him through you guys. Through I think because you guys had him on Legend of Leo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I was trying
And
to
no,
think.
That's his dog's name. But I forgot what his actual name is.
Justin. We were just talking about
Justin.
that today. We recorded an episode of the Butt Mappers today, and we were talking about
Nice.
that. We were talking about how we just call him Leo, but that's his dog's name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So funny. Um, all right, man. I have been recording, so that I'll just I'll cold open at some point. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I watched the one with Tyler, so I
I
saw
al-
you had like a lot of topics.
I always do a cold open, and when the guest least suspects it.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to watch the rest of the Leo one. I was watching that one. The
Okay.
Legend of Leo one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, So I'm not going to say the name of the show because once I say the name of the show, we have to run the intro. But here we are in 2025, man, and I'm happy to have Retro Tiburon on. We're going to talk today, just so the viewers know, because I had to accommodate for your time today, and it's technically past my bedtime. So I'm gonna be tired this episode. It's gonna be a sleepy episode for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me on and accommodating me. Yeah, it's just my time's limited because I'm working two jobs right now, so it's like this is the time that I know, okay, I got a couple hours to spare.
More than happy to accommodate, man. I'm just wanting to warn the guests. So, like, if you see me do like a little yawn or something, like it's almost midnight for me.
Maybe you need one of these right here.
I have a Pepsi. Does that count?
There you go. There you go. That's got caffeine.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of caffeine. It's probably gonna. I really shouldn't have caffeine this late, but I was like, whatever. I don't have to work tomorrow, so like, what's the worst thing that can
Right
happen?
now it's gonna be midnight, right? For you?
Yeah,
Man, yeah. I'm like done by that time. I'm
yeah.
done because I have some buddies on Discord like Tyler and other guys like Retro Ryan and Dad Level Podcast. Those guys stay up late, and sometimes I'll stay up with them and I go to sleep like at 1. I'm like, man, I can't do that. I'm like too old now.
Oh, I
I used
feel
to do
that.
that all the time. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I used to do that, man. I used to work night shift. So I used to exclusively work night shift. So I worked. I had one position where I worked like 7 to 3 a.m. and then I had one position where I worked 10 to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And now it's the opposite. Now at the job I have now, I work. I get up at 4:15 every morning, and I work from 6 a.m.
Dang.
from 6 a.m. to like 2:30 somewhere around there.
But I used to have that schedule when I was younger, and what I did like about that is you have like the rest of the day
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
You're tired as hell, but
Well,
you have
yeah.
the rest of the day
Well,
for
you adjust because when you're first starting it,
yeah,
you're tired as hell, and then after a while, you kind of like adapt to it. It's like
yeah,
you push through, and usually I find like because like sometimes I'm tempted to come home and like take a nap, or something. But I found that like if you just push through and keep yourself occupied around like 8 9 o'clock at night, you start to get tired and you start to want to go to bed. you know,
yeah. So this
okay.
must be rough right now for you then, because
Yeah,
this
like
is
I
like,
said, this is gonna be a tired episode. But again, I'm off today and I'm off tomorrow, so I'm fine.
all right, nice, nice, nice.
um, yeah, man. Retro Tiburon. I don't actually know your actual name. I don't know if you want to give that or.
My shoot name. I don't know if you're a wrestling fan. My shoot name is actually Mario.
Mario. I am not a wrestling fan, but I'm
So
surrounded by them.
yeah, so shoot in wrestling terms when you say, "Oh, shoot, it's a shoot," that means it's real. It's a shoot.
Oh, okay.
Shoot, I'm shooting. It's real. My real name, my shoot name is Mario.
Mario. Well, I
But
hate calling people by like their screen name or like channel names.
oh, really?
It's the worst, and I hate people do it to me. Like I have people all the time be like, people call me Turbo, and I'm like, that's not my damn name. It's like that's the show and the channel, you know, like that's the
The funny
content.
thing is, the funny thing is, I'm the opposite of you.
Yeah.
However I meet you, I will refuse if I find out what your name is. I will refuse to call you by your name. Like Ty Lord, I know he's Steve. He will forever be Ty Lord. I don't call him
That's
Steve
true.
ever.
I do call him Tylord. I do. Yeah, there are people that I do that to too. So I guess it's like a double standard for me
Yeah.
because I have people
Like
that.
how, yeah, like how I meet you. That's what I'm gonna call you.
Eh,
Like even if I find out, okay, that's not my actual name, but that's how I met you. This is what I'm gonna call you.
that's true. I have a good friend online. He goes by Axel Wolf, and I've collaborated with him a lot over the years.
Uh-huh.
And I know he actually lives close to me, and I know his actual name, and I never call him that. Like there was one day I was talking to him, and he was like, "You know, my actual name is blank," and I was like, "Yeah." It's like I'm not gonna call you that.
Yeah, because it's almost like a nickname.
Yeah.
Like my Xbox gamer tag is Jason Voorhees because I love like Friday the 13th movies.
Okay.
And to this day, one of my friends he just calls me Voorhees because we would play Halo all night. So to him, I'm just Voorhees. Hey, what's up, Voorhees? He doesn't call me by my real name.
My mom was cracking up. I was having her near Christmas. I like to send some gifts out to friends, and I have where I do YouTube. I have friends that live all over the place. So I was sending one out to my friend IGotKings, aka Brian, and my mom was laughing because she was I had asked her. She has Amazon Prime, so I was like, "Can you just place this order for me, please?" She was like, "Okay." So I sent her the money and sent her the address, and then she was like, "What's his last name?" And I was like, "Uh." Like I had known it at some point, but I was like, and she was like, "He's your friend. Like he's been your friend for like what, like 4 years?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What's his last name?" And I'm like, I threw it out. It's gone.
Yeah, he streams on Twitch, right?
Yeah, I was like,
I got
he's just I got
yeah
Kings. I don't know. It's Brian.
yeah yeah. It's just I don't know. I think it's a guy thing. Like because we also I think a guy thing is like nicknames. We have nicknames for each other.
Yeah,
So it's almost like our YouTube handle or gamer tags. Those become like the nicknames. I think.
it's true.
Yeah.
Well, man, we do got to get to the show. Do you want to? This is the first episode of 2025, and you're my first guest of 2025. Do you want to do the honors of introducing the show?
Of introducing the show.
Yeah,
This is Hey Geeks and Gamers, right?
yeah,
Podcast.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Hey Geeks and Gamers. Good to have you guys, pals. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Roll the intro. All right, the intro played. We didn't get to hear it.
Uh,
I do that stuff in post. Yeah, welcome to Hey Geeks and Gamers. First episode. I think this is episode 9. I'm not sure. Let me look. I don't remember.
episode 9.
I know it is episode 9. Okay, cool. I was right. So we're almost to the double digits. The show survived.
Nice.
It survived this long. um,
Yeah. Who's the one I've seen first is Ty Lord, but I need to watch the other one.
yeah, that was a fun episode. I like having Tyler on. So, and I'm sure, because at some point I'm gonna run out of new people to bring on, and I'll have to start like double dipping.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll have Tyler back on at some point too. But I'm excited to have Retro Tiburon on. Can you like explain to people what you do on the internet?
What I do, well, so on YouTube, I stream video games. Even though I have the retro moniker, I'm not gonna lie, I'm mostly a modern gamer. And people even come in like, "Why are you retro Tiburon? You should be modern Tiburon. All you play is the modern games," which is true. I like retro games, but I mostly play modern. So I stream like 3 times a week. So I think what I do is I try to go through all my consoles and beat one game at least one game. I just go through them. Then I have like a co-op night where I'll play with some of my buddies, like Retro Ryan, my childhood friends Billy and Francisco, since I've known them since we were 12 years old. So it's cool to like stream with them. And then Friday nights we usually do like a community game night. So we'll play like Mario Kart, Fortnite. Spencer joined us one time and Fortnite and carried us. Um, the horror ones like Texas Chainsaw and Killer Clowns. What else do I do? Pick up videos. I go to swap meet. Out here we call them swap meets. I think on the East Coast they call them flea markets.
Flea
But
markets, yeah.
I kind of record like vlogs and look for video games, look for toys. And I do a podcast too. I do a podcast once a month, and I guess in a nutshell, I'm like an old school wrestling fan, and I love horror movies. So that's kind of like what I'm known for, like for cheesy 90s, 80s horror movies and old school WWF wrestling, like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, all that stuff. I do a little bit of each. I do a little bit of each thing. Like what's that saying? A jack of all trades, a
Mhm.
master of none.
So where does the name come from?
Tiburon. So tiburon is shark in Spanish.
Okay.
So that's actually my childhood nickname. So to this day, my dad does not call me by my actual name. He doesn't call me Mario. If you meet my dad, he's just Tiburon, Tiburon. And I got that nickname because we used to go to Universal Studios out here in Hollywood. And you know how they have the tram ride, right? And you see King Kong and you go through the back lot, you see the Psycho House, and then Jaws comes out. And I guess they said when I was 5 years old that I loved, like that stuck with me. And so then after that ride, they were like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was like, "Oh, my name is Mario El Tiburon." And this was like five years old. So I gave myself that nickname. So ever since then, like my dad, a bunch of my uncles, that's all they call me. So
Okay.
uh, yeah, yeah, Retro Tiburon. That's what it is.
It's a cool name, I gotta say. I do have to ask, since I found out your name was Mario, and this might be the worst joke I've ever made on this show. Have you ever had to actually tell somebody it's a me Mario?
It's a me. You know what? I've never jokingly said that, but growing up, a Mario, man, if I had $1 for every time I heard, "Where's the princess?"
Where's
I think
Luigi?
yeah, where's that was the most used one. "Where's Luigi? Hey Mario, where's Luigi?" That's the man, I would hear that thing all the time. But yeah, I should have gone with Mario as part of my YouTube channel, but I don't know. I was like, no, I'll go with my nickname,
Do you even like Mario? Do you
I
hold a
do.
grudge? Okay, okay. See,
I do. I'm
I think
yeah.
if my name was Mario, growing up, my only goal would to be like to make a friend with somebody named Luigi. That would have been my goal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, I could have been called something worse that would have been annoying, like something that rhymed with like anus or something. Like it's Super Mario. That's cool. I like
Yeah,
Mario.
people. It's weird to say it this way, but like everything everyone knows about me is a lie. Alex is a nickname because Alexander is my middle name. Nobody knows my first name on the internet, or
Oh.
not really. I mean, yeah, you can find it, I'm sure, if you like do a Google search or something. But and my first name is annoying, and
Oh, so was it one of those where kids were, because
yeah,
kids are mean. Kids are mean.
I it's a family name, and it's like whenever I was younger, my middle name's Alexander, so my family just always called me Alex. So I've just always been Alex. So it was one of those things that like everyone knew me as Alex, and then like it was always that first day of school when they would do roll call, and I had to be like, actually, I go by Alex, where like they call me by my actual name, and all the kids were like, ha ha, It's like,
I get it. Well, as kids, we're kind of jackasses.
oh
Like
yeah,
it's when you're a kid in elementary, middle school, high school, you're just trying to survive. You're just trying to like fit in, not get picked on. Like you're just trying to get by because once someone has something on you, forget about it. Like that's it.
dude, I've thought about so many, like, not like specific times, but just like I've thought about the fact that, like, like when you're a kid and like kids make fun of you or gang up on you, you get like, there's nothing I can do, or like, it's like you feel helpless, right? And I was like, man, I was like, if I like was my adult self back in my kid body and a kid was picking on me, like I would just be like, you know what, you can go fuck yourself. It's like. Because like that's what I would do now if somebody was trying to like bug me like that.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when I was in elementary, I used to wear like do you guys have or did you guys have Payless shoes out there?
I don't know.
It's
I don't
like
remember.
out I don't know if it's a California thing, but it's pretty much like a shoe store where they sell like really cheap shoes. So
I
nothing
don't think so.
name brand. So my mom used to buy me in elementary like that. They were called the Pro Wings. So they were like wannabe Reeboks, but they were not Reeboks. And I didn't care. As a kid, you wear whatever they give you. And until one day, one of the kids was like, "Ha ha! Look, Mario's wearing Pro Wings." And I was like, "Oh, like that didn't feel good,"
It
because they
haunted
started
you.
making fun of me. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
told my mom, "I don't want to wear Pro Wings anymore. Like, you have to buy me something better."
Yeah, it's like all that
Yeah.
stuff like matters whenever you're a kid for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, now that I'm older, I don't care. I wear like the old grandpa Skechers. I don't care. It's like when you
Yeah.
get older, you don't give a damn.
I mean, I buy shoes I like. I mean, I bought like a really nice pair of Vans recently, and that's what I wear usually. But like, and like I think whenever I got into high school, I only wore like skate shoes,
Yeah.
because like that's just the style I liked. But yeah, I don't know. Like when you're a kid, it's like all this stuff matters, and then like when you're an adult, it's like, man, none of this stuff matters. It's like,
Yeah, you're trying to survive, I
if
feel,
anything,
when you're
it's
in.
like almost the opposite. I'll be like, check out this pair of shoes I bought. Guess where I found it? At Goodwill for $13.
I was just at Goodwill right now.
Wow.
That's where I buy a lot of my shirts at Goodwill.
um, all right, man. We do have segments on this show, and I'm gonna do some of my regulars. I do have one tailor made for you today, that we will do here in a little bit. But we're gonna get to the first segment of the show. I don't know if you've been paying attention to gaming news as of late, but the first segment is the "What's Up with That" segment, and today we're gonna talk about the fact that Nintendo finally showed the Switch 2. It was shown a couple days ago, right? I think on Thursday.
Yeah.
And what a showing it was.
What did you
I
think?
so like there's just there's been like a large amount of hype surrounding this thing, right? Like us finally seeing what the successor of the Switch is going to be. Switch is so successful for the company, and as a longtime Nintendo fan, it's like, oh man, I can't see like what new innovations they have or like what they're going to come up with next. And then to to be honest, in my honest opinion, that like trailer they put out was the most like passive aggressive thing I've ever seen from Nintendo. It was them basically being like, "Fine, here," and then it just looks like a Switch.
Like a more upscale Switch, right? Did they talk about the specs, like details
No,
on the specs?
no, they showed the new kickstand. You care about that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's like a wider one, right? And it can like
Yeah.
almost lay flat almost.
For all the people that use that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used the well, because the kickstand is so flimsy. I don't think I ever used it. I just
Oh,
play it in
I know
handheld.
the one on the OLED is better, but still, even then, like, I don't know if I don't
Yeah,
know I don't know if I've ever been in a situation where I'm like, damn, I wish I had a good kickstand on this thing.
yeah. And they didn't say the price, right? They didn't give the price, the actual price.
The
But people are speculating, right? Like 400 or 500.
They showed off the new Joy Cons, and they look like Joy Cons. It's
Yeah.
this is that was to me like I'm still open minded, and like maybe they have some new features that are gonna blow my mind. But as of right now, that was like the biggest wet fart of a reveal to me, of just being like, "Yep, here it is."
I I think they just wanted to, like you said, shut the fans up. Like, yeah, you're gonna get your Switch too. Shut up. Like, stop bugging us about it. Here it is. Like,
Leave us alone. Well,
yeah,
it's
I
just
don't.
it feels weird because like literally every Nintendo console has been like I wouldn't say innovative, but every Nintendo console has had its own style and some sort of innovations, right? And then this is the first time that it feels iterative. They literally called it the Switch 2, and they're like, "Yeah, it's the Switch," and it's like
Yeah,
that's weird for
you're
this for this
you're
company.
right. It doesn't really feel very Nintendo like.
Yeah,
Because I mean, the last time I kind of remember them doing something like that, it was like the Super Nintendo. Like it was the Nintendo and then the Super Nintendo. But then after that, it was always something different.
I mean, I guess you could argue the Wii U, but I mean that was so weird.
Oh yeah.
I mean that technically
But even
was iterative, but even then, I was so out of left field that
yeah, yeah.
it's like,
I kind of fell off. I was kind of like a Nintendo hater for a while. Like post, I love the N64, which I think not a lot of people love that console. As far as Nintendo fans, I don't think that's like a favorite of a lot of Nintendo fans. But I love the N64. And then I kind of just didn't care about the GameCube, the Wii U, and then the Switch came out. I was like, oh, this thing's awesome. I love the Switch. But I don't know if I would get it day one, the Switch too, but they could convince me. Like, I love Super Mario Odyssey. So if they were like, oh, Super Mario Odyssey 2, I might have to bite the bullet and pay what they're asking.
well, that's where Metroid Prime 4 is going, and I've been waiting long enough for this damn game. You know.
Oh, so that's not gonna be on the Switch right now? Damn, that's jacked up, man.
Yeah, they showed gameplay footage like at a direct sometime last year, I think, and they showed that like it was going to be on the successor console,
Oh, okay.
or like
But they had announced it like 2016 or something, right?
yeah, they like they announced it and then they restarted production, so it's been delayed, quite a bit. Like I think
Yeah.
they started it with like some other team and then didn't like the direction, and then I can't remember if they restarted it and then had Retro get back and to work on it again, or like what happened. But I know they had to restart. Um, so we're still waiting, and, if that's gonna be like the launch to game, or like near the launch, it's like, well, damn it. It's like, man, I have to get
I'd
the
be pissed if I was like someone that got the Switch to play the new Metroid,
yeah.
and they're like, "Wait, sorry, it's coming out on the other console."
At least we got Dread, right? That came out on the Switch.
I've actually not gonna lie, I've never played through a Metroid game. I've played
Oh,
a little bit of the Nintendo one, the OG one, but I've never really played. But I do have Dread, and that's the first. So that'll be the first game I'm gonna try to play through. I'm gonna try to play through that one this year because I hear that one's really fun.
it's
Like
good.
I heard it's really hard,
I would
but
also recommend just like Fusion or Super. Those are great.
it's like Fusion's the GBA one,
Hmm.
the Game Boy.
Yeah.
I've heard of that one too.
Um, Yeah, I am a Nintendo fan. I'm a fan of a lot of things though, but and it's funny you talk about the N64 because that actually is my favorite console from them.
Oh, but
But
that's rare, right? For a
that yeah,
Nintendo fanboy to
rare.
like that one the most.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, there you go.
well. Hold on, I have a
That's why you like, cause they're rare.
rare. I have a Jiggy over here. Um, um, partially, yeah, honestly, but also because like it's like that was like the console that I really grew up playing a lot of. It was like the first console, the first home console I owned myself was like N64. So like it holds
Oh,
a
the
lot of stock.
nostalgia.
Yeah, but I mean I've enjoyed a lot of the other ones, and I've stuck with them through the years. In fact, I mean I was a pretty early adopter for the Wii U, which was not a fun time to be a fan. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
We were getting some good
yeah.
games, but man, it's like you can make the best games in the world if the hardware is garbage. The hardware, it's like nobody's gonna buy it. So,
Yeah, it did
it's
pretty bad. How much did it sell? Like less than 20,
I don't
20
remember.
million?
It was bad. It
Yeah.
was low.
I I remember my friend getting it when it launched, like day one, and hey, come over and come check out the Wii U. But I was already like a Nintendo hater at that time. I was whatever. I went over and he had like I think it was Nintendo Land, Nintendo Land, and it was like fun, but I'm like, I don't see myself playing this game more than like an hour. Like,
Yeah, it's not like $300 fun.
yeah, yeah,
But I mean, like, there were some like genuinely great games, and I mean, I think it's kind of been echoed because like they all came to Switch, and like Mario Kart 8 is like the best selling game on the Switch by far, and that's just a Wii U game.
yeah.
So it's like,
Deluxe.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So, but so I get why they're just doing like the Switch 2, and it just looks like the Switch, and I'm sure it'll be backwards compatible, and I'm sure it'll have new graphics and features. The issue with me is that as much as I loved the Switch, I got a Steam Deck 2 years ago or whenever it was, or no, sorry, a year ago, and I doubt the Switch 2 is going to be more powerful than my Steam Deck.
does that is that 4K or 1080?
It's not
The
4K.
Steam Deck
It's not 4K.
4K?
Yeah,
No.
it's 1080. Yeah, but the Steam Deck's pretty powerful. It can run on low settings though, mind you. But it can run like PS5 games. I could play
Yeah,
Helldivers
that's
2
crazy.
and stuff on it. That's so it's like
Yeah, I've kind of had that one on my radar, but I'm like, at some point, I don't know if you feel this way. I'm like, I have so many consoles, and I don't have all the time in the world to play. I'm like, do I really need another console to play stuff on? I'm like,
that's
man,
the
I think I'm gonna
beauty
just
of
hold off.
being an adult, man.
Oh
That's
man, yeah,
the
because I got the, I don't know.
when you're a kid, you have one thing and like five games or something, and you're like, man, I wish I had more. And then as an adult, like you could just buy it, you know.
Yeah,
So
I'm not gonna lie. I've been lowballing people on Facebook Marketplace for them. They always get turned down.
for
I was like
the
200.
for
You
the
take
Steam Deck,
200 for the Steam Deck, and they're like, nope.
you can get a. Granted, you have to catch them when they're in stock, but Valve themselves actually like refurbish them for pretty cheap, so
Oh,
you can
I'm
get a
not.
refurbished one.
I don't know. I have a Vita. I don't know if you're a fan of the Vita, and I
I've
have a lot
never
of games for it.
I've never actually played an actual Vita. I had a PlayStation TV for a little bit though.
So you kind of had the Vita, but like the home console
Yeah,
version.
the shitty one.
But the Vita is awesome. I love the Vita. That's how I'm like I have all these games that let me when I do because I don't play a lot of handheld. That's the thing too. So when I do play handheld, I'm like, well, I'll take the Vita with me. I'll take the Switch, and then Tyler gave me a GBA.
Mm.
So I'm like, well, I'll take that with me and like play something on that.
I
If I had a
used
Steam Deck, that's four consoles, handheld consoles I'm having in the rotation. That's too much, I think.
well, the Steam Deck's great because it's great for emulation. So,
Oh, like
you
you,
know,
you have yours modded, like hacked?
yeah, it's easy. I mean, it's
Uh,
basically a little computer. It's all so you don't have to really hack it. You just gotta set it up.
I
and
kind of want it for like Xbox games, like because I'm an Xbox guy, but I heard you can. There's like a workaround, right, to play Game Pass on there.
yeah, I have it set up to stream Game Pass, which I don't really use
Oh,
as
man.
much because I don't keep my Game Pass active all the time. But
Yeah.
there for a little bit, I had it active and I was using it that way. It basically acts the same way as like if you do it on your phone.
Oh, okay.
So
So you're streaming it. You can't like download games
no,
onto it.
it's just streaming. Yeah, it's like cloud streaming.
Mm,
Same thing with PlayStation. I think I haven't set it up, but you could do PS5. Like the remote play that way too.
oh, okay.
So
Like the Portal, the
yeah,
PS5 Portal, kind of like that.
man, well, that was also just a wet fart of a release, wasn't it? They were like, "Look, we got a new handheld."
I
it's
didn't even really like know what it was. I would hear like my friends talk about it. I'm like, what is that? And then I was like, huh, oh, that's kind of cool, like a Vita. And then they're like, no, but you can only play it like over Wi-Fi, or you have to be in the house, or how does that work?
yeah. I don't have one, so I don't know. I only recently got a PS5, so but it's I don't know. It's just when I was like they were like Sony's doing another handheld, and I was like, no way. And then they were like, it's just to stream your PS5, and I was like, okay, so it's stupid.
Yeah.
So
But
it's not really a handheld.
that's why I like the Vita because you actually have like the little cartridges and where you can download the games on there.
I
That's what
didn't
I like about the Vita.
like I said, I never had a Vita. I mean, I would like to have one at some point just to have one, but I did like the PSP quite a bit. So I was pretty fan,
Oh yeah.
big fan of that.
The PSP.
Yeah. So
The only bad thing was the joystick, right? I had a PSP like modded to like play like MAME and all that, but
mhm.
then I got a Vita, so I got rid of the PSP. But another complaint was the little like it looked like a button, right? The little
Yeah, the
joystick.
little nub. It's still better than the
Yeah.
one on the 3DS. Tell you that much. But the so the Switch 2, I did want to ask you, and you can think about it for a second. What like features you were hoping to see? One of the features I wanted to see has already been dashed, and I get why. I was really hoping they would just replace the D-pad with an actual D-pad and not have
Um,
the four buttons on the Joy-Con. I get why, because you want to have the Joy-Con as little controllers. It's cute, but like, man,
does anybody play it like that though?
not unless like the game requires it. You know, like I think there's a handful of games I've played that like actually make you use the Joy-Con that way, like some of the Mario parties do. Um, but man, I just when I'm playing it, like when I'm playing on like docked, I always have a Pro controller. But when I'm playing handheld and I want to play something that really needs a D-pad, using those Joy Cons like that just kind of suck. Like the four buttons. So I was hoping they would do something. I guess
Or
not.
like or make like an extra. I would even just buy like an extra one. I know like Hori makes them, right? Like the deep actual D-pad one.
Yeah, but like I've heard they're kind of like cheap. You know.
Uh,
So like I want like just like Nintendo, just fix it. Just give me a something.
what I want is Bluetooth capability for headphones.
Mm.
Cause I'm like the damn Vita that's older than the Switch. I can use my Bluetooth headphones on it. Why doesn't the Switch have that?
Well, the Vita also had like cellular data, right, and stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was that the Vita for like 2011. The Vita was like way ahead of its time.
Yeah. I'm like, that's all I care about. Like, just put some Bluetooth capability. I don't have any other really complaints about the Switch. The Switch is to me, I'm like, do we really need a two? But I guess if you but I just play it like for the their main games like Mario, Wonder, Odyssey. I don't play like anything like Doom, Eternal. I play that on the other consoles, like on the Xbox or PS5, right?
Yeah,
So
but
I'm
I guess the thing is that like with the Switch, you saw a lot of ports of not really as much like PS4 or Xbox One games, but more like 360 PS3 era stuff. So my
yeah.
guess is that with the boost in the Switch 2 hardware, we'll start seeing more ports of like PS4, you know, and Xbox One era games to the console.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, I guess that's like if it's like your main console or you want to play that stuff more on the go, then that makes sense, right? For
yeah.
me, it's like I just play whatever like the first party stuff I played on my Nintendo. Whatever their first party stuff, that's all I play on there.
Well,
Everything else, third party is Xbox and then PS5, whatever their first party stuff is.
I mean, until I got my Steam Deck, yeah, it was like if there was a game that like I really liked that even if I had it on PS4 or something, sometimes I'll just buy it on Switch just to play it handheld. Like I'm thinking like
Yeah.
Diablo 3 I bought again on Switch. Final Fantasy 12 I bought again on Switch. It's like I just want to have those games handheld. So like
Yeah.
that was the fun of it.
Yeah. 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 I didn't even get the OLED. I still have mine from 2016. Did you get the OLED?
No, I have played an OLED. The screen is nice, but not nice enough to warrant the purchase. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I have the second revision because I bought mine in like 2018. So it's like they did a second revision by that point where I think they fixed the battery issue from the original launch version. But it's basically the same, the same one.
Yeah, I know the first one had like a lot of issues, right? Like warping, it would like warp and stuff. But I
Yeah.
have mine since then, and it's been fine. But
What
I don't play it a lot. I don't play it like a lot. Yeah,
And I mean, they have a huge install base from the Switch already, so I get it. Like, it's like just buy the Switch too, and you can play all your games, and there you go, and we'll have new games.
but there was an asterisk. I was watching a video and they said like backwards compatible, but it had an asterisk.
It's Nintendo, so they're probably. I don't trust Nintendo, so with the asterisk, it's probably going to be like, oh no, you can't use the Nintendo Labo cardboard toys or something, or or something stupid. It's gonna be something stupid. I know it. It's like it's something nobody cares about.
Yeah. Yeah. I always feel like I don't know how you feel, but I feel like Nintendo always gets away with a lot more stuff than some of the other consoles.
Yeah,
Like they can do, it's like, oh, that's just Nintendo. They just do whatever they want to
which
do.
I mean, honestly, is partially why I like them. Sometimes it's because
Yeah.
they're stupid and they get away with stuff like that because it's just again, yeah, it's Nintendo. It's like, oh, it's Nintendo being Nintendo. It's it's just, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm underwhelmed right now. So I guess we'll
So
see.
not a day one buy.
Not
They
yet.
can't convince you.
They gotta convince me. Well, the novelty's gone, right? Like the novelty of the Switch is gone. What are they selling me now? I mean, other than like I need to buy it to play new Nintendo games. Like
Yeah.
there has to be something more. That's all that I'm saying. So, there's
But
something
it
there's something they're not telling us. I just have the feeling.
but the new games coming out for the Switch too, you think they're gonna be playable on the old Switch or no?
Nah,
You're not gonna be able to play them. I
probably
think
not.
that's where they're gonna get you. They'll come with the Metroid and the new Odyssey and whatever new Zelda.
Yeah,
That's how they're gonna get everybody.
yeah. It does have me worried though about like because again Nintendo's very like traditional with their game development. So it has me worried that like we're not going to see entries in certain series because they're going to be like, well, you can play it because it's on the Switch. Like it worries me like we're not going to see like a Smash Bros because Smash Ultimate's still playable, or like Mario Kart because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still playable. So like it worries me that like they're going to kind of rest on that and be like, well, we're not going to make a new one because you can play all Smash Ultimate.
I feel like they have to like the Smash and Kart. When did they come out? They were on the Wii U, right? When was that? Like 2014?
Yeah. Well, technically Ultimate isn't a port, but it's a port. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's just built on that game.
I mean, I have like I have fun with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like I can keep playing that forever, but yeah, once they come out with a new one, that's where everybody's gonna be hyped that loves Mario Kart.
Yeah, they're gonna throw 8 in the trash. Move on to 9.
My favorite is still the 64 one, Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
That's still my favorite.
I don't. I mean, other than 8 Deluxe, I really liked Double Dash. I thought Double Dash was quirky and weird. That was one I liked a lot. Going
I
back,
didn't like that one.
I think if I went back and played a lot of it now, I would probably have a lot of issues with it. But I'm just kind of nostalgic for it. Like
For Double Dash.
yeah, it's like a dumb game, and you can like I like the fact that like you can team up and have like teams, and stuff like
Yeah.
playing with 4 people and having like two person a cart is so fun. Yeah.
I never gave it a shot. I remember I got the GameCube just for that, for Double Dash.
Oh wow.
And I got it, and I was like, what? I think I was just like stuck in the N64 version. I was like, this ain't like that. Why is it like this? I hate this game, and I just stopped playing it because I love the 64 one so much. But maybe I got to give it another shot. I love the super, what's it called? Super Circuit?
Yeah,
The one
the
on
GBA one.
that one's fun. I like that one. Yeah.
All right, man. The next segment, man, my segues are going to be awful tonight. Where I'm so tired. The next segment is a segment that I did tailor make for you. Before you came on the show, I did know that you are quite the fan of wrestling. So we are going to do a segment called "Did You Finish?" That's the name of the segment. And how this game is going to work, because I don't know anything about wrestling, mind you, is I'm going to give you a video game character, and what I want you to do is tell me what their wrestling, like their finishing move would be.
Okay.
Okay.
I
You
think
down
I
for this?
can do that.
Okay. The first character I had written down here is Simon Belmont from Castlevania.
Damn, Simon Belmont. What would be his finisher? Probably like something like the Undertaker. I'm sure you've heard of the Undertaker, even though you're not a wrestling
Yeah,
fan, right?
I know the
The guy
name.
that's dead. Uh, God damn, it might be like damn, what would he do? He's always hunting Dracula, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like the nail in the coffin, and it would be like a tombstone, like a pile driver, maybe. And you'd call it the nail in the coffin.
Okay. Again, I know nothing about wrestling.
It's kind of like when you pick someone up and you drop them on their head.
Oh, see, I think if I watched, like, if I learned the names of wrestling moves, I might actually know a few of them, because my favorite game series is No More Heroes, and he does wrestling moves in those games. So I'm pretty
Ah,
sure,
yeah,
like, yeah, I'm pretty sure if I like actually learned them, I'd be like, oh, I know that.
yeah.
That'd be the only reason why. All right, the next one is a little more abstract than some of Belmont. The next one is Pac-Man. What would Pac-Man do, man? What?
Damn. Well, it'd have to be like be called like the power pellet, and maybe he just like take a big bite out of your ass or something. I don't know, or the what would you say, waka waka, the waka waka. There
Is
you
it
go.
is that legal? Take a bite out of your opponent's ass.
He might get disqualified, but that'd be him. He'd be like the like a brawler. He'd be like a no disqualification guy. Like he would just be all out. He would just bite you in the tuchus.
You're a bit of a horror fan, so the next one I'll go with Pyramid Head from Silent Hill.
Pyramid. Damn. Okay. He kind of reminds me of the wrestler Mankind a little bit, like Cactus Jack. And he had like that giant sword, right?
Yeah.
And he was a little freaky too, from what I remember. I never beat Silent Hill 2, but I remember that one part where you're like hiding in the locker and he's taking care of business. It'd probably be like a flying headbutt because he's got that giant pyramid head. So I could see him like diving off the top rope and just
Ooh,
like
that would hurt.
giving you like a headbutt and crushing your head. We'll give him a flying headbutt.
Okay. You didn't points for creativity because you didn't use the big sword at all.
Yeah, that's like if maybe he can't beat the guy, he's just like F it. I'm gonna take out the big sword and get disqualified.
I know you like Xbox, so I'll throw in an Xbox character here. What about Marcus Phoenix?
Marcus Phoenix, Gears of War. Let's see. Damn, he kind of reminds me of the wrestler Batista. I'm sure you know Batista. He's a Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh
He's
yes, yeah,
or
yeah,
no,
yeah.
Drax,
Drax, yeah.
and supposedly he wants to be Marcus Phoenix if they were making
Oh,
Gears of
that
War.
you know what? I can see that. He was also in was it Glass Onion, right? The Knives Out
What?
thing.
What?
I
Oh
think
yeah.
yeah.
He wants to be Marcus Phoenix. He's already said like make a Gears, put me as Marcus
I
Phoenix.
can
I
see
could see
that.
that.
Yeah, I can see him as Marcus.
No, but I think Marcus Phoenix would have a curb stomp because that's when remember when you have him down, you can curb stomp him, and that's actually a wrestling move, the curb stomp. But Marcus Phoenix would be different because he would actually smash your head into smithereens.
Oh, poof, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him a curb stomp.
Okay. The last one I'll do is technically a video game character. It's Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk, Jesus Christ. There actually have been some wrestlers that have come out on a skateboard. There was like a girl wrestler, Cora Jade. She would come out on a skateboard, but it was funny because didn't really know how to use the skateboard, but her character was a skateboarder, but she didn't really know how to skate.
Seems kind of
I don't.
important for your character, right?
Yeah, there was another guy, I think Darby Allen. He actually knew how to skate. There was some guys in the '90s that were like spiky blonde hair, and they were like the skate or die stereotypical skater guys.
Oh, okay.
Damn, he'd have to like what would he? I don't even. I'm not a skater. I tried when I was younger, and I didn't know how to skate. So it would be like the ollie. What's that? What's the ollie? The 720 ollie, and maybe he'd like go off the top rope with the skateboard, and he would like kind of like stomp you, like Goomba stomp you with the skateboard off the top ropes. Call it the 720 ollie or something.
All right. And that's all I have for that segment.
All right. Not all. Not most of them are not legal moves, but that's what I could see them doing.
Yeah, which one of those do you think would actually be legal?
At the Tombstone, the Simon Belmont.
The first
It's
one?
like the only, and even the pile driver is not legal. Like they banned it. Like they're like, no, it's too it injures too many people. Like even though wrestling's scripted, that like falling on your head is it's not a good thing. Not
Yeah, I
a good
mean,
thing to fall on your head.
even though it's scripted, like they're still athletes and it's still dangerous, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And, you know the guys get all sweaty. They slip. They land on their head the wrong way. It's over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have some more segments, but you know what? I was thinking earlier. I forgot to ask you. You mentioned you like a lot of '80s horror and stuff. What's your favorite horror movie, man?
Of all time, Texas Chainsaw, the original.
Ooh, okay, good.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, yeah.
The 1974. Yeah, it's got to be my favorite. My favorite franchise is Friday the 13th. I
My
love Friday the 13th.
I don't know wrestling, but I know horror.
Yeah.
So,
So what's your favorite?
oh, Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead too.
I am an
Okay.
Evil Dead fanboy, so that's my thing.
I like from those. I don't know why I could never get into the first Evil Deads, but I love Army of Darkness.
Oh, that movie's
From
great.
all of them, that's my favorite one from all those movies.
Well, because that movie, I mean, that movie's not really a horror movie. That movie's a comedy movie, but like,
It's like a slapstick.
it's
Yeah.
so good though. It's so
I don't know why.
it's so
'Cause I
quotable and cheesy.
Yeah, yeah, that I didn't, and it always confused me why it wasn't called Evil Dead. Why is it just called? Why wasn't it called like Evil Dead Army of Darkness? It was just
Actually,
Army of Darkness.
my mouse pad. Hold on, my mouse pad is Armor of Darkness. There it is.
Ah, nice,
There it is.
nice. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm using right now. Yeah, I don't know why the name change. Technically, I think the full title was technically Ash versus the Army of Darkness or something, but you know, that's just
Ah,
Army of Darkness. I know it. They switched studios and like that. Sam Raimi had so many issues with those movies because like he technically didn't own the rights to the first movie for a little bit, so that's why they had to like retell it in Evil Dead 2, because he couldn't use anything from Evil Dead 1. And then they changed to I think Universal for Army of Darkness. And then and I believe he has all of the film rights and everything back now, but like that he had so much like work to do to get to this point because when he started to do like the Ash vs Evil Dead show there for a little bit, which I really liked that show, he couldn't reference Army of Darkness because they didn't have the rights to. So they only referenced the original two movies. And then there's comic books, and there were three different publishers that had comic books. There was like Dark Horse, some other one, and Dynamite Comics, and they all had Evil Dead 1, 2, or Army of Darkness, and they were all their own comics. And they also don't and then there's like newer comics now too. There's like Ash versus the Evil Dead, which is a new, or like Ash. I forget what it's called. It is just called Ash versus Army of Darkness, which is like a newer series. But Bruce Campbell didn't get paid for his likeness in the Army of Darkness comics, which was a big thing. So like that's a whole other issue. And then they finally got the rights back to all that stuff. So like in the second season of the show that they did, they could reference Army of Darkness again. It's like so many legal loopholes they had to jump through to get to this
that
point.
was like a mess. How many seasons did that show have?
3. It got canceled not because of like critical reception or anything, but it got canceled because it was on Stars, I believe, and people weren't. The show was so expensive to make, and people weren't subscribing to watch it. They were pirating it. So it was
okay.
it was losing money.
Yeah, I always feel bad that I'm like, I don't know why I could never get into the first Evil Dead. Like I saw them as a kid off of a coworker's recommendation because he knew I liked like Friday the 13th, and I was like, couldn't get into it. Then I watched it again recently. I'm like, I don't know, but then I watch Army of Darkness, and oh man, I love this movie.
I don't really think you need to watch the first Evil Dead. I think you just need to watch Evil Dead 2 and then Army of Darkness. Because Evil Dead 2, like the first 10 minutes basically like is an abridged version of the first movie. And then it goes straight into the sequel stuff. And that's like Evil Dead 2 is like also it's more horror, but it's also like part horror, part slapstick, you know. So,
Yeah, it's more because the first one's just like kind of a straight horror movie.
hmm
The first Evil Dead.
yeah,
I want to watch the remake. I don't know if you've seen that one. I heard that one's
yeah,
good. The
it is
remake.
good. That one feels like what they wanted to do with the original. Like,
Yeah.
it's like actually like there's some moments in the remake one where it's very like body horror, and there's a lot of moments like there's one moment where this girl is like she like takes a nail gun to her face and she's like pulling these nails out of her face, and I'm just like, oh.
I think I have it. I might have to watch it because I go to like the flea market and the Goodwills.
Yeah,
And I'm always looking for Blu-rays for cheap, and I think I have them. I need to watch that one.
but
Yeah, I heard it's good.
I think I've told this story on an episode of Hey Geeks and Gamers, so I'm not going to repeat it. But yeah, I was at a convention one time, and Bruce Campbell was there, and I was waiting in line to get a comic book signed. And then I was waiting. The line was like 2 hours long, and I was waiting. And then some of the people that worked at the convention came around. And they were like, "If you have anything published by Dynamite Comics, he will not sign it." And I looked down, and my collection that I had brought with me that was like Xena Warrior Princess like crossover with the Army of Darkness comics was Dynamite published, and I was like, "Damn it!" And he wouldn't sign.
That's
He wouldn't sign
that's
it.
kind of messed up.
Well, he wouldn't sign it
Yeah.
because they don't pay him for his likeness. So
Ah,
yeah,
so he's like, well, I don't get paid by them, so I'm not gonna sign it.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's
so I
yeah.
just didn't. I just got out of line because the only thing I could do is pay for a headshot and get that signed, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to get like something of mine signed, you know. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
I gave at one of the flea markets. I found that his character from Xena, like the figure,
yeah,
and funny thing is, I gave it a Ty Lord. No, because Ty Lord came down to LA last year, and there's a Monster Palooza horror convention, and he was gonna be there, but we already knew the line was gonna be ridiculous, and I was like, I'm not even like. I like him in Army of Darkness, and I like Bubba Hotep. I like those two. But so I was like, but I don't want to wait 3 hours. Like I just want to go see I don't know if seen the Return of the Living Dead,
yeah.
but the whole cast was gonna be there. I'm like, that's like one of my favorite zombie movie. I want to go to that. I don't want to wait 3 hours. So we never got his autograph because what you're saying, I was like, oh, it's gonna be too long. It's gonna be too long to wait for an autograph.
That's awesome. Hey, there is a Bubba Hotep Army of Darkness crossover comic.
Not really.
Yeah, they did a lot of crossover comics. My favorite one is, and I have all 4 issues they did. They did one that is Ash saves Obama.
It's crazy. How about do you have the ones where he fights Freddy and Jason? There's those too.
No, I don't have those. Sadly, those are cool though. I've read those online, and I know like the again legal issues with Ash. Like I think he was originally supposed to be part of that film that they did.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard that.
yeah,
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. What a weird movie that one was.
Bubba Hotep. I remember when I saw it, I was just cracking up. I thought, oh man, this movie's hilarious.
Oh no! I meant Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, I love that one too. I love
Dude,
that movie.
I like it.
I love it.
It's fun. I don't know if I would consider it to be good, but it's fun.
I just, I'm just a Jason fanboy. So anything Jason's in, I love it. The 2009 one and the remake, I
Yeah,
don't really love that one, but all the other ones I love 'em. Even with all the cheese.
yeah. You like Jason X?
I love Jason X. And anything Jason, I love it.
But
I don't care. I defend Jason X.
sadly, his store is closed now. But there for a little bit, I had a buddy who owned a store here in Kentucky named Retro Rewind. It was like a retro gaming store. And there
Hmm.
was a convention nearby, and the developers of the Friday the 13th game actually asked him to like do a booth for them at the convention.
Oh, that's
So that was
cool.
pretty neat. Yeah, I didn't get to. I didn't be. I wasn't a part of that, but like I remember him telling me about it and like showing me stuff, and I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah, I'm bummed out that game's gone. The
Yeah,
the servers got shut down in this December.
it still lives on, right? And that other game. What's the other game that people play? The Dead by Daylight, right?
He's
Like,
not in there. He's like
yeah,
the
give it,
only
give it,
slasher that's not in there.
give it time. He'll be in there.
Yeah,
Now,
but it's not the
now that
same.
it's
I don't know if
gone.
it's not the same. I don't know if you ever play like those asymmetrical horror games
Nah.
You not even you're an Evil Dead guy. Not even
I
the
bought
Evil
it.
Dead
I
one.
bought the Evil Dead game thinking I was going to get into it. Nah, I didn't get into it.
You tried it and
Yeah.
you just didn't like it.
Yeah,
I
I bought it on the Xbox Series S and played a little bit, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me.
I kind of dug it. I played it with some of my friends. One of my friends, Vince, that level podcast. He loves Evil Dead, so he was like explaining all the, oh, this guy's this guy, and it's fun. I think when you get like a crew, when you have like a team, I think it's fun.
That could
Killer
have just been my
Clowns is a fun
issue.
one.
Maybe I just didn't have enough,
Yeah.
enough people to play
But
it properly.
were you playing with like randos maybe?
Yeah,
So
playing with
like
randos.
I think like those games you play with like a little group, it's fun. Like I don't know if you've seen the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but that game's pretty fun. Killer
Oh
Clowns,
yeah,
Texas Chainsaw.
I saw that was a game.
Yeah.
Now.
It's fun. That one's fun too. But you gotta have a crew. Like alone, I don't know if I would have fun.
What other horror movies do I really like? That I like consider my favorites. Probably
Yeah, what are your top three?
Evil Dead 2, Alien, and The Thing. That's probably it.
Thing, yeah. The alien's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I just saw that Romulus one. That one was pretty good.
I'm,
Alien Romulus.
I'm terrified to watch anything else.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate the Alien franchise. The first Alien is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I hate the franchise because
You don't like Alien?
I don't
The
like
sequel?
not really. And then
Really?
I mean, okay, Aliens is okay, and then basically everything after is just a train wreck. And then
Yeah, I know
it's
three wasn't great.
three wasn't great. With there was one after that, right? Too that wasn't
Resurrection, I think?
Resurrection or
Resur-
something or I don't know. So many movies use that name. I forget if that was actually it. That one was bad. Prometheus was bad, and it's
Damn,
like
I like that one too. I
it's
like the Alien versus Predator ones too.
my problem is that like they just keep they keep having to expand the lore, so they keep explaining more about the xenomorphs and everything, and it's like they're not scary anymore. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they were scary in the first Alien because you didn't know where this thing came from or what it wants. You know, and it's just there, and then they're that, and then there's the great twist where you find out that like they were basically sent there to like die. You know, and it's
Yeah.
like yeah, it's great. It's like terrifying. You know, and then
Yeah,
all
the
this,
first one is like the true horror one.
yeah.
That's like the true scary one. Because part two is just like an action. It's an action.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, that's why. I mean, it has great moments. I mean, I love the ending with the "Stay away from her, you bitch." You know, like there's some great stuff in the second one, but it's just yeah. That's my issue with it. It turns into more into like an action franchise, so then it never comes back. The closest I've ever gotten to that original movie was just that game they did the isolation game. Like that game's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got stuck on that one. Like I think I glitched. There might have been user error like in the first 15 minutes. Has that ever happened to you? Like you just don't know what to do. And I'm sure it was something like simple. Either that or I did get glitched out. But I just gave up. And then I've seen gameplay of it and I'm like, I kinda don't like games where you can't like really fight. I think
Uh,
it's just maybe my anxiety because I can't fight the damn xenomorph. Like you just gotta be hiding from it.
well, that's why it's scary, right?
Yeah. I want to. I do have it on the Xbox. I'm like, at some point, I gotta give it another shot. I want to play that one. Yeah, the Thing's a good one. I didn't watch the Thing till I think I was in my 30s, and when I first saw it, I was like, man, this movie is
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's a great movie. I got to watch it in theaters recently because they did a 40th anniversary release of it.
Yeah.
So they did like they showed the full film and then they showed like behind the scenes. It was mainly behind the scenes of like the stomach opening up part. It was like
No, that's my favorite scene.
yeah. They basically showed like how they filmed that and like all the practical effects and stuff. So that was really cool to see. To see how
One
that
of
worked.
my buddies, he made I don't know if you know him. He's Omega Ace.
I think
But when he hit what, you've heard of him maybe?
I think I know the name.
When he hit 1K, because his favorite horror movie is The Thing. He made he had like a cover made by one of our other YouTube buddies. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
actually like him. I'm in the background somewhere. He did like a 4K slip cover for The Thing. And it's pretty cool.
That
Pretty cool.
reminds me of whenever I forget which one it was, but whenever one of the Deadpool movies was coming out, like if you went to Walmart, they just rebranded a bunch of movies, but with Deadpool on the cover.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like all kinds of unrelated movies, but it's just like you can buy it with Deadpool on the cover now.
Have you seen Dead Alive with Peter Jackson's Dead Alive?
I don't know.
I would recommend that if you've never seen it. You know Peter Jackson, the dude that did like Lord of the Rings, and
King Kong, that's what
so
I
he
knew.
did a
Yeah.
yeah, King Kong. He did a horror movie in the 90s. No, I think it was it was in the 90s. It is nuts. It's pretty over the top. You look out for that one, Dead Alive.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's I don't know if you've seen the cover, but it's like a girl opening her mouth and there's a
Oh,
skull.
I have
There's a
seen
skull
that.
in.
I have seen that cover.
Man, what did you think of that? I love that.
No. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the cover.
Oh, if you ever find it, it's expensive Blu-ray, but I think it's cheap on DVD or the VHS.
Okay.
I'm like Tyler. I'm one of those weirdos that still collects VHS.
I don't collect VHS. I collect DVDs. I like buying
Yeah.
DVDs. I don't know VHS. I get the nostalgia for VHS. My girlfriend actually loves collecting VHS tapes, but I don't know. I'm just that's like a format that like I just kind of abandoned. You know. And I was like,
Yeah, I think it's for me. It's like you said, the nostalgia, because
Yeah.
I grew up going to like the video stores and looking at all the horror VHS tapes, all the wrestling VHS tapes. So those are the main ones I buy. But it's the nostalgia, and then when I have a little like a little combo CRT VCR, and I love when I put in a VHS tape. Recently, I was like, man, I missed the previews when they would show those previews for those cheesy
Yeah.
movies that were like straight to the video store. Like, for me, it's just the nostalgia, to be honest.
Yeah, I have two VCRs, and I mean I have like I think the only tapes I own is like the special edition of Jaws and the Star Wars trilogy. The
Yeah,
the actually the original trilogy, not the prequels.
yeah.
But I own those, but I never watched them. The only thing I use my VCR for is for running my Atari consoles and stuff through.
Oh, like it's like a you play it through there, like you plug in the AVs.
Yeah, coaxial and AV out. And that's also how I'll capture footage off Atari stuff sometimes and stuff that way. So
Yeah,
it's like that's like the reason why I keep a VCR hooked up. I don't
yeah.
watch my tapes. I have the copy of Jaws and the copy of the Star Wars trilogy are the copies I had when I was a kid. So like those are just the ones I've
Okay.
kept because like I love those movies. So it's like I'm gonna keep these.
Tyler and I are always sending each other. He calls it VHS trash. I'm like, we're always sending each other VHS trash. He sent me one that's like super expensive, the Killer Clowns
Mm,
from outer space. It's like over $200. And when
wow.
he showed it to me, I was like, Tyler, you need to sell that. That's like over $200. When I saw it, and he's like, and he still said it. Tyler doesn't care. He's just like, here, you can have it. I'm like, all right. So I have it like in one of those protective cases because I'm like, that's an expensive one. I gotta take care of that one.
All right, we do got two more segments. Man, I'm tired.
Yeah. But we got two more. We're almost done.
We got two more. Technically, we have three more, but we have two more actual segments. The last one's a joke. The next segment is titled "Eat It or Beat It." This is a pivotal point in the show where Mr. Retro Tiburon, you get to choose whether you want to hear about something I've eaten recently or a game I've beaten recently, and whatever you pick for me, you have to tell the other side.
Okay. Tell me about what you ate recently.
Everyone always chooses eat. I love it. Today it was my grandfather's birthday. He is 91. Or
Damn.
I think he's 91. I'm terrible with ages. But we took him out to eat today, and we couldn't get him to decide on where to go because he's like, no, I'm not picking, no, because he's just like one of those people. So we finally my aunt told my mom I was talking to him recently and he said something about wanting to go to Golden Corral. So We went to
Oh,
Golden
nice.
Corral today.
I've never gone, but if I heard it's like the best buffet place.
It's the only one. That's why it's the best because they're all the rest of them are dead. And I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'm
I think Hometown Buffet died like in the
yeah yeah
during
yeah.
the pandemic.
I'm surprised Golden Corral survived the pandemic. I am happy because I have like nostalgia for it. Like I went a lot as like a teenager with my parents and stuff. There was one we used to have one closer that actually closed down, but we used to go all the time as like a family. It'd be like like maybe like once a month we'd all load up and go. So when I get to go, it's like a bit of nostalgia. The thing with Golden Corral is it's you're paying for the quantity, not really the quality. Not saying like they don't have good stuff because they do. Like there's stuff I like. Like I like getting the meatloaf, or I like getting some pot roast, or I like getting it's like sometimes they have decent steak. But also it's like sometimes you get a hold of something and you're like, well, this just isn't good, and then you just you go back and you try again, right?
But what did you eat? What was on the plate?
Oh, I ate quite a bit today. I felt awful afterwards. Actually, I did eat some steak because the guy cooking the steaks was out, so that was nice. The only thing that sucks about getting steak at Golden Corral is that I like my steak pink, and they won't do it that way. You know, they
Oh, you like it rare.
and
You want
they'll
the
do
cow still mooing.
they'll do. Oh man, I went to Texas Roadhouse like 2 months ago, and my mom was appalled by my steak. But yeah, they'll only do like medium rare, so it's like just a little bit of pink in the middle. But like no, I want it crawling off the plate.
You want it. You want the Leatherface special.
So I had some steak. I am from the South, so I love some good like home cooking. So I love like meatloaf and pot roast. So those are always a must. They had some pretty good catfish. I had a few pieces of catfish, which was nice.
Never had catfish. Is that like fried catfish? Or?
Yeah, it was fried. It was battered and fried. That does have some fried shrimp, which is pretty good. I forget what else I ate. They had a taco bar. I think I made one taco. They didn't have a lot to go on them, so I just made some like just a regular taco with like meat and cheese. They really the options kind of sucked for the taco bar, to be honest. What else did I eat today?
What was the dessert? Don't tell me you didn't have a dessert.
Oh, I did have dessert. I because they have a dessert bar, so I went through and I got a couple mini churros and a little chocolate dipped Rice Krispie treat and a piece of chocolate pie. That's what I had for dessert. Yeah.
You ate like a king.
Yeah, I was miserable. I think I had 4 plates in total. I was miserable after I got done today. Luckily, I didn't have to drive back, so I was just sitting in the back seat of my parents' car, like, oh, like just like
food coma. Status.
Yeah. I just like took me a little nap in the back seat.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it was good though. Like I said, yeah, there's. I mean, other than like going to like a like an American Chinese buffet, like there's not really a lot of buffets anymore. So
Yeah, they got killed right by the
Yeah.
pandemic. Nobody wanted to go to them anymore.
So I appreciate a buffet. It does beg the question. Usually because everybody always asks me eat. I think I've had one person that's ever asked me beat. So in the thumbnail, I usually put a little piece of food for whatever I mentioned. So I guess I'll put, I don't know, a piece of meatloaf or something up there.
You should put the bloody steak.
The bloody steak. Okay, yeah. I'll even though I didn't get a bloody steak today, I got a regular medium rare steak. I will put a bloody steak in the thumbnail. There we go. All right, man. So that's what I ate. What did you beat?
Recently I beat Shinobi 3 on the Sega Genesis.
Yes!
Yeah, you a fan of Shinobi 3?
Oh, yeah. That is like one of the best. I mean, that is like one of my favorite games, probably.
Yeah, I love. That's one of those I think because I'm a big Sega Genesis fan.
Me too.
It's probably my favorite. Yeah.
It's my favorite
You too?
console. It's my favorite console of all time.
I thought yours was Turbo Graphics.
No,
16.
No.
No?
I've never played a
But-
TurboGrafx.
I thought that's where the name came from.
No. So back before I had this channel, I used to post I had another channel where I did short films, and I used to post gaming content there. And I had a show called Super Hyper Turbo Gamers, which was like making fun of Street Fighter. Um,
Oh.
and whenever I started this channel, I just snipped off Turbo, and I added Turbo Zone because I'm a big fan of Twilight Zone. So it could be a Turbo Zone.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
That's cool.
so like
Yeah.
mainly, I mean, on this channel mainly I do like Sega and Atari stuff, and
Oh, that's
so
cool. Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Yeah, I've seen when you post like kind of like reviews,
yeah.
like of the Atari stuff. Yeah, but my favorite is the Sega Genesis. Like my favorite retro console. I love the Sega Genesis. I was a Sega kid growing up, but uh, I have the Mega SG, like the analog. So
Ooh.
that's one of the consoles. I'm like, okay, I gotta like at least try to beat a Sega game, a Genesis game once a year. But I'm gonna admit it, I'm just not a good retro gamer. I think because I was always into the wrestling games, the LJN wrestling games. I would just play all the crappy wrestling games.
I think I have
I
a
would play
I have
that.
I have a 6 button controller sitting right here.
Yeah, that's the one I use.
Yeah,
The
it's a good.
8-bit
This is a damn
8-bit
good
do.
controller.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Ty Lord came over last year, we played what did we play? We were playing a bunch of Sega Genesis stuff like Greatest Heavyweights and forgot we played some other beat 'em ups, but yeah, one of my favorite games growing up was Shinobi 3, but because I was just not very good, I just like would play the first few stages and I would die and I'd be, oh man, I guess that's good enough. So that this year I was like last year I was like I gotta beat Shinobi 3. I gotta beat it. And I finally beat it a few weeks back. I streamed it. Um it took me 4 tries. So I would stream it, for a couple hours each time. And I would like get a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. And the last week I had another YouTuber join me, Mazen Power, that guy's like an expert at the freaking retro games. And he's like, hey, I'll jump on the chat and kind of guide you through it. And yeah, I beat it on my last life. Literally in my last bar, I beat the final boss. And I was like, all right, I finally beat Shinobi 3. Yeah,
Nice.
fun, awesome game. I love the music,
Oh
the graphics,
yeah.
the music, man, and that game is awesome.
That game is one of those games that like when I start playing, even that first level or the first level is one on a horse, right? Um,
No, the
or
first
the
level you're
second
like in
level.
the forest.
No, yeah, the second level is the one with the yeah. The first level is the horse. The second level is the horse. When I get to the part with the horse, and then you can see the guys in the background running up, and then oh man, it's just like it just immerses you. The sound and the visuals, and I'm just
I love the music so much. I have like the vinyl of
oh
Shinobi. I just love the
wow.
music. I love that music. Like the horse one, and then when you're on the in the surfing, when you're surfing in the
Yeah,
water, I think it's called Whirlpool. I think it's called that theme. That's a great theme.
it's that game in general is just like a great retro like action game. And honestly, like of the Shinobi game, I know a lot of people like Revenge of Shinobi. I never really cared that much for Revenge of Shinobi. It's like that was like Shinobi 3 was the one that like felt like they just nailed it.
I never played any of the other ones. Revenge of Shinobi the super hard one? Because I know there's one
Yeah,
that there people are saying, oh, it's super hard.
it's technically the one that came
Is that one?
before. Yeah, it's the second one. And I mean, and I like it, and I've liked other Shinobi games too. Like I'm a huge fan of the Game Gear, and I like the Game Gear Shinobi games. But it's like 3 was just perfect, and then
Awesome, man. I would love a. Have they ever made a figure? I would love like a Shinobi
oh, like a
3
Joe,
figure.
yeah, like a Joe Musashi figure.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was his name. Someone in the stream was like, "Oh, his name is Joe." So I'm like, "Joe?" I thought he was joking. His name's not Joe. He's a ninja.
Yeah,
It turns out his name is Joe Musashi.
yeah. He's I forget the canon exactly, but I think he's like an American that was trained or something.
Yeah.
And then whenever they
Well, who do you
had,
take?
sorry, what?
I was gonna say, who do you take, Joe or what's the other guy's name? Ryu
Oh, Ninja
Hayabusa? Is that
Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden?
Joe, but I don't know, man. Ninja Gaiden's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
If it wasn't for those 3D games, that's what they need to do is make like some 3D Shinobi games or something. Well, they did the PS2 ones, but like newer ones.
They're making a sequel, right? A Shinobi sequel. You saw that?
Yeah, what happened? Sega announced like 5 games all at once, and we've seen nothing. What happened? Where
They
are those?
showed a little bit of the Shinobi gameplay. It looks kind of like cell shaded, and I
Like
noticed it has
Reese?
some of the music. Yeah, like recent, and it
Oh,
has like some of the music from Shinobi 3. So I'm like, oh
I
man,
didn't
they
see
play some of
that.
the music.
Oh, I just
Yeah,
I remembered. I've all the only thing I've seen was from that like announcement during the Game Awards that they did like a year ago, or whatever, where they were like,
no, they showed
"They're
some of the
coming."
gameplay, and they played some of the music. So it's like it almost looks like Shinobi. It has like the music from Shinobi 3, but it's like more. It looks like comic book cell shaded
Yeah,
style. So I hope, hopefully, as long as the gameplay is good, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm
Whatever that
excited.
Shinobi is.
That
Yeah.
the art style for that one looked like the one like the Streets of Rage 4 art style,
Yeah.
which I like that game a lot. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah. So like I said, I mostly play modern, but I was proud that I beat it. I don't think it's like super hard, like it's beatable. I feel like it's fair.
yeah,
So, but it took some practice because I'm pretty like mid to low tier when it comes to playing retro games.
proud of you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Thanks. I was like, oh
Do you
man, I
have
finally
a
beat it, and yeah.
Do you have another Genesis game that you want to beat?
I just well the month before I beat Outrun 2019. I don't know if you've played that one.
Yeah, I have
That
played
was a
that one.
fun one. Outrun 2019. It only took me like an hour or so to beat it. But next, I beat Splatterhouse 2 and 3
Nice.
in 2023, which I had never beaten those. Those are freaking tough, man. That Splatterhouse 3. So I'm happy I beat those. I think next, I want to give like RoboCop versus Terminator a shot. But I played like stage one. And I'm like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to beat this. It was like pretty hard.
Do you like shooter games, like shooter action games?
Like first person or what do you mean?
No,
Like shoot
like
'em ups?
yeah, like a running gun, I guess you could say, or like
I'm not
that
good at them.
style. Okay.
Are you talking? Are you gonna bring up Contra Hardcore?
No,
Because I don't think I could beat that
no,
game.
no, no, no. I was gonna recommend Ranger X. That's what I was gonna recommend.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah,
Is that an
Range.
expensive one though? I don't have that one.
Nah, it's not that
No,
expensive. Nah, I have a copy. If I have a copy, it's not that expensive.
I gotta check. I'm always trying to look for like suggestions because
Hold
that's
on,
like
let me.
the main. Yeah, no worries.
Hold on. I'm gonna look on eBay right now. You can keep talking. I'm just gonna. I'll
Yeah,
just go
that's.
look at them.
I think I want to beat that. Um, any else? Any other ones? I'd like to beat Sunset Riders
That's a fun game.
because I think I beat that one as a kid. Yeah, but I want to beat it co-op. I want to beat that one co-op. Um, yeah, I think those are the main two. I'd like to play also like Rocket Knight. That's one that I never had growing up. Rocket Knight Adventures.
That oh,
But I hear that one.
I love that game.
I have it,
That's
but I never played it growing up. But I hear it's like super hard. Is it super hard?
no, not really. It's just it's I mean there are platforming levels and there's some really cool challenges, but basically Rocket Knight Adventures is like it's like you'll play through like here's a section where you're platforming and then here's a section where it's like a shooter for a second. But mainly it's like you just go boss fight to boss fight, you know. So I think that's what it is. It's just like an onslaught of these big bosses you gotta take down,
Yeah.
which is fun. I love that game. That's also that's in my top five Genesis games for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I want to play that one. I have it. It was one of those that I had, and I was gonna sell it, and I was like, well, I should just might as well play it first and see how it is. And I've heard like, oh, it's a tough game. It's a tough game, but it graphics I always thought were like really cool for that game because they're like big, really big sprites.
Do you go in box or cart only?
Uh, I try for the Sega Genesis to get at least the box, but I have a bunch of carts. Like I'll get the cart, and then if I can find the box eventually, I'll get the box.
It looks like if you want the box for Ranger X, it's like $50. If you want just the cart, you're gonna spend like 20 to 30. So it's not
I
bad.
also go to I also go to this like flea market. Let me show you these games right here.
All right.
There's this flea market near me, and the guy makes hacks, like hacks. So this is like
Oh,
Streets of Rage, Simpsons,
that's cool.
Street,
Is that like
and
Streets
he
of Rage
made
1 or like Streets of Rage 2? What is that?
not Streets of Rage 2, but with the Simpsons characters. And then this was Street Fighter 2 cross Streets of Rage 2.
Huh.
So it's like the Streets of Rage Street Fighter 2 characters in the Streets of Rage 2 game. And Yeah, I've sent a couple to Tyler, a couple of those hacks, and you can play them on your console. But some of them are not great. Some of them are like play like crap,
That's cool.
but they're fun. They're fun to play though.
I would like to have
Yeah.
one. Some of those. I keep my Genesis plugged in. It's actually plugged in right now with my 32X and the Sega Genesis 6-pack. All right, it's sitting right on top.
Yeah. How many power bricks you have to plug for that? For the like two power bricks
Yeah,
when you have the
two.
32X?
Yeah, I don't have the
Yeah.
CD. If I had the CD, I'd be three of them, baby.
Damn, man. Yeah, but so that's something we share. I love the Sega Genesis. I grew up a Sega kid. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I said my first home console I owned was N64. My first console I ever owned was the Game Gear.
Oh,
Yeah, I
nice.
was a
Man, you,
game.
you went through you went through a lot of batteries.
Oh yeah, no, I got to a point to where because the power adapter was just the Model 2 power supply. I went through a phase as a kid where my parents didn't buy me the batteries for it because it's like 6 batteries. So I basically I would just plug it into the wall and play. So
Ah, you,
yeah,
you just have to sit by an outlet.
yeah, no, I remember being a kid and like there was like I'd go with my parents over to like their friend's house so they could play cards, and then I'd be like huddled in a corner somewhere like plugged into a wall playing my Game Gear.
Yeah, I think I had one, and I think when I was a kid, I was like, well, I don't have battery. I can't afford to buy batteries.
I don't know where mine
So I
are.
remember, I think I gave it to my aunt. I remember.
I have two laying around and they're both dead. The capacitors have gone out for the screen.
Yeah, those are it's because I sell like on eBay and stuff. I notice every time I get a Game Gear, it never works.
I
Those
got
die pretty quickly.
I
Yeah.
have my Game Gear from childhood, and then I had a second one that I bought. When I bought it, it was in great condition. The screen worked, and it was in great condition. And then within a year, the capacitors went out. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I every time I get those, I'm like, man, this is not gonna work, and they never work. They never turn on.
yeah. So it's a shame. Like nobody's. I guess it's not popular enough to really capitalize. Like the only people I've seen do it was like there's that add-on for the Retron 5 where you can play them. Play the
Oh
games.
yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
I got that little adapter
the
that you
little
plug into the
stupid
side.
adapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that thing too. It's like whatever. But like
But
I'm.
there's the analog, right? The Pocket, I think plays the Game Gear.
Oh yeah, it also has an adapter, right? You have to like
Yeah.
plug it in. Like nobody's just made. Yeah, but like I don't even want to do that. Like I just want a thing that just plays it. Like if somebody just makes a device.
If Legend of Leo is watching, I got a dog too, Leo.
Yeah. What's that dog's name?
This one's a Tigger right here.
Okay.
This guy's known in my streams. He always shows up. He's like a needy
Hey,
poodle.
I almost called him Leo. Justin was on the show, and Leo. I never saw Leo once. So
Leo, what's Justin? What's up with your dog? Look, my dog's right here.
yeah,
Tigger right here.
yeah. We should just gaslight everybody into thinking that Leo isn't real. That like Justin's making it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
show the
that's a cute
dog.
dog. Prove it. We've never seen your.
Prove
I think yeah.
He's like, I can get the dog, guys. I swear. It's. I just can't. He's asleep. I can't bother him right now.
I even thought for a second he was like gonna be like the third like host. 'Cause I think I saw like a button mappers and he was on. I was like, oh, is he like now on the show now?
I don't know why people thought that was like a thing. Like we've always had guests on, and that was basically us just being like, well, we can just get a guest on for this episode,
Ah,
and then
okay.
like. It was Tyler that like commented. He was like, "Bring him on as the third person," and I was like,
Uh,
I was like,
yeah, Tyler.
yeah. All right. We have one more actual segment. Man,
Okay.
it is. I just want you to know it is 1:02 in the morning.
Man, look at
Going
this.
late,
Yeah,
late night.
this guy's pulling an all-nighter.
This is the mental health exercise that I do every episode. It is called From Attitude to Gratitude. Sometimes things in life suck, But sometimes things in life don't suck, and that's what we like to highlight. So what we're going to do is that we're going to talk about one thing recently that's happened to us that did suck. You know, it could be something small, big, whatever you want to talk about. Then we're going to
Yeah.
balance the scales and talk about something that didn't suck. You know, and end on a happy note there. So I can go first.
Okay.
We are recording this at the not really the tail end, but like at the end of January, and since November, I have been having issues with my car. It's a truck, but I'm gonna say car. It so basically I live out in the country, and I had to have a vehicle that could do 4-wheel drive. Because again, I got a lot of snow and stuff, you know, and if it snows, I'll get stuck out here without something that could, you know, get through it. So I bought this truck, and I've had it for a while, and it's great. Recently, for some reason, it started randomly locking itself into 4-wheel drive for no reason, and whenever I try to take off, it just like it gets stuck, right? So I ordered a part, and I had somebody fix put the part on for me. And then I got my truck back, and it was fine for like 2 days, and then it started doing it again. So then I bought another part, and then I had somebody put it on, and then I had to wait, and then I got it back, and then I drove it for 2 days, and then I did it again. So I just bought a third part. Somebody put it on. I just got it back, and it hasn't done it yet, and it's been more than 2 days. So I'm hoping it's fixed. But I spent the last like 2 months or so like not being able to drive it. I had to borrow my sister's vehicle for a little bit, so that sucks, you know, and that's like frustrating. Yeah. So that's been like
car problems are always expensive and annoying.
Yeah, so that's like what I've been dealing with, and yeah, it's never fun dealing with car issues. So that's been like my big negative recently. And then, like I said, hopefully I'm at a point where I'm past it now. But I swear to God, if I go out there and it starts doing it again, I'm just gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I'm just gonna buy a horse. Ride a horse.
I have a little beater pickup truck, and it's doing this thing. I wonder if it has the same issue that you do. Like if I stop at a stop sign, and then I want to go, it like doesn't want to go. I'm like, why doesn't it want to go? It'll like rev up almost, and then it'll go. Then it'll kind of sound like, oh man,
yeah.
this truck is gonna kick the bucket soon.
Mine would like lock itself in the 4-wheel drive high, and you know, if you're just on pavement, it's not gonna do anything. It's just like, you know, just like trying to slide along, you know, and then I could get it to stop after a minute. But of like you know, going on the street real slow, and then finally it would kick in and act right. But the issue that I had was that I couldn't like rely on that because I work. You know, I live out in the country, but I work in the middle of a really busy city, and there's no way in hell I can pull that off like in a really busy area like that. So it's like
that's dangerous.
Yeah. So it's like I'm not. No, it's like so I've just been having to like, you know, troubleshoot. Luckily, I don't have to pay for labor because my dad's a mechanic, and then you know, he can just put on the stuff for free. So I just had to buy the parts, but pain in the ass.
That's a luxury for sure. Because I know nothing about cars, so like if a mechanic is like the Abdullah Oblongata is not working, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll fix it. I know nothing about like car. So it's good that you have your dad that knows how to repair them.
Yeah, my dad's been a mechanic since he was 15. And he actually was a mechanic. Isn't anymore. He still works for them. He's almost retired, but he was a mechanic for the state police for a long time. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's pretty legit. So that's great. I don't know what I'm gonna do when he dies, because I'm gonna be like, that's just what I do. Because like he never taught me any of the skills. Because Because it's like the classic thing, like the classic thing of like your dad trying to teach you something and your dad gets mad. It's like the
Yeah.
it's basically
Let
that.
me do it.
Yeah,
Move
it's
over.
basically that scenario. So yeah, so basically, if like something happened in my car, I call my dad. I'm like, "What's happening in my car?" And then he tries to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at some point in hopefully in the far future, I won't have my dad around, and then my car is gonna mess up, and I'm gonna be like, "Who do I call?"
Go on. You gotta go on Yelp, maybe. Check out the review, the ratings, the reviews.
So that was my negative, man. What do you got?
Since my dog Tigger's right here, I guess a negative was he recently was having like problem with his teeth, like a lot of like his teeth were bad, and I took him to the vet. Well, he had an appointment, and they had to remove 28 of his teeth
Oh my
because they
god.
were all like rotten, and we had noticed that sometimes he didn't want to eat, and it was because his teeth were hurting, like his gums were hurting. So this guy's like snaggletooth now, Tigger. So they removed 28 teeth. Apparently, dogs I think have 41 teeth. So he has like a few teeth still left, but yeah, that was kind of like sad because he had to like be under, and he was at the vet the whole day. So we were like kind of like sad, like, oh, I hope he makes it, because they made us sign like that waiver where it's like, in case he doesn't resuscitate, like, what do you like? Do you want us to do like the compressions, or do you just want to leave him alone? We were like, what? So that was kind of a bummer, and he was like recovering for couple of days. He wasn't like feeling himself, but now he's back to himself. Like he's like Grouch. When he's in a bad mood, we know he's back.
Ooh,
So that was a bummer. That was a bummer. But
yeah,
he's
man.
good now.
That's also up there with like car trouble, pet trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just as expensive. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
it's like expensive and like even more worrying than it's like at least like a car. It's like, well, I can buy another car, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the dogs that pets can't do anything. Like
Yeah,
they can't fend for themselves, so you gotta look out for them. And they can't talk to us. They can't tell us, hey, my teeth are hurting. That's why I don't want to eat.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, luckily I've never had anything too terrible happen to him. But my cat,
Yeah.
who's pretty notorious on this channel, his name's Mick Nasty. Um,
Make nasty.
Whenever he was a kitten, he had a really bad like upper respiratory infection, and I was terrified whenever that happened because like he just couldn't breathe. He was like, and I remember like before I could take him to the vet, like I had him scheduled for the vet for like the next day, and I was just so worried about him, and like I even like went and took like a like he was just like I could tell he was just miserable. And I took him into like the bathroom with me, and I took like a really hot shower just so he could like breathe in the steam to try to see if that could help him breathe a little better. And I was so like just worried, and like that's like something that's easily curable. Like I went and they gave me the medicine, and like I just had to like I basically just like had to take the little thing and squirt the medicine down the back of his throat.
Sounds like easy fix.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
you're still as like a pet holder, you're like just terrified. 'Cause,
Yeah. Yeah. Like we don't, my
this,
wife and I, we don't have kids. So it's like this guy and our other pets are like they're our kids. So like we worry. Oh no, why is he not eating? Or why is he limping? Like because the dogs, cats, all they know how to do is like love you. So
yeah.
it's like sad when you see them in pain or not doing well.
It was funny though, because whenever my cat was younger, he was a chonky boy, and and it was funny because like if I take him somewhere like the vet or like if I remove him, I just carry him in my arms because he's fine. And I remember I walked into the vet that day, and the vet was like the first thing the vet said was well, he's overweight.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty damn funny. uh,
Yeah.
he isn't anymore. He's a lot slimmer now. I put him on like some like healthier food, and
Yeah.
he's a lot more active. But back then, no,
That's good.
he was a fat boy back then.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
So that's pretty cool. All right, I guess we can move on to our gratitudes. My gratitude, part of it could be filed under an attitude, but I'm not, because ultimately it's great because I recently got a PS5. I got a PS5 Slim.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, PS5 Slim. It's like the one thing I was holding out on, mainly because like I have some issues with like the way Sony does have been doing their like games and like business practices recently. So I just haven't invested in a PS5, which feels weird because I've played PlayStation my entire life. But I finally got one, so I've been enjoying it a lot. I say it's partially negative because where we get 8 inches of snow, it was supposed to be delivered like a week before it actually got delivered. So I spent like a week just like in limbo, being like, "Was my PS5 going to be here today?" Nope. Okay.
It was just stuck. Like it was just stuck somewhere.
Yeah, they
Like
just
at a facility or
yeah, yeah. I just it was like a UPS had it, and they just couldn't get out to me to like deliver it, and I couldn't even like set up to go pick it up. So it was just like me just waiting for them to be able to come bring it to me. But I finally got it, and I've been really enjoying it. So that's my positive is just, just having a new console to play. So
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. The turn for something grateful for. Uh, yeah, something simple. But sometimes we take for granted, like just being healthy and like being able to walk and being able to like talk and see. I think for me is that this year I had like I developed plantar fasciitis. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
hold on, the internet shit the bed for a minute. Okay. I think you're okay.
I'm hardwired.
I think you're
Yeah?
okay for the sake of because the episode's almost over. For the sake of the rest of the episode, I'm just gonna turn my camera off.
Okay. Do you still want me to say what I said?
Yeah. Go ahead, because I'm gonna cut back to where we are.
Yeah. Don't worry. I have a podcast too, so I know it's everything. Anything that can go wrong always goes wrong. Yeah. For me, it's just I think being grateful for just being healthy, for being pain free, being able to walk, being able to see, being able to I don't know hear, like just the basic stuff. Because last year I was having a lot of problems with my right foot. I had a plantar fasciitis because I still thought I was young and could play basketball, and I can't be playing basketball on concrete anymore.
Ooh.
So I injured my foot. So I was in pain for like months. Like I think I had that pain at the bottom of my foot for months, and now it's not at a 0, but it's like at a 1 out of 10. So I'm just happy the pain has subsided and I'm able to walk more comfortably now. So that's my gratitude.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Usually at this point of the show, I like to talk for a bit, but we did a lot of talking throughout the show. So, and it is pretty damn late.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for being flexible with my schedule, because I was like, yeah, I'd love to do the show, but this is the only time I'm available. So thanks for being flexible. I know it's super late for you.
No problem, man. I would love to have you back on sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe sometime where I'm more awake. But it's good. I just checked the recording. We got a good hour 40 here, so we're coming in strong. Usually I like to hit close to 2 hours, so like we're good.
Yeah, you're close.
Yeah, we're close. So if you're ready and I'm ready, we can just do our final segment and call it a day or call it a night.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Mr. Retro T-Bron, the final segment of the show is one that I do every single episode. It is called 30 Seconds to Tell. I'm going to start a timer in just a second. And the way this works is that you have 30 seconds to tell me, the viewers at home, anybody you want. You get to tell them where to find you, what you do, or anything else you want to tell them And if you don't do it within the 30 seconds, the episode just ends abruptly. Yes, it will cut you off.
Yeah, like a time bomb. All
It
right.
is. So, whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, and go.
Yeah, find me at Retro Tiburon, RetroTiburon on YouTube. Like I said, I stream 3 times a week. I do podcasts once a month. And you can find me on Instagram at Retro Tiburon, on X, Retro Tiburon. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. And see what else. Yeah, that's pretty much